Welcome, bird people. This is Tattooed Granny. In this episode, I will give you tips on how to gentle an adopted parrot, probably an older one. Join me today. I've kept large parrots, hyacinth macaws, 𝐏𝐀𝐻𝐍s for 40 years, hand-fed other birds. Okay, let me read my disclaimer. It's right here. Warning: medium to large sized parrot macaw species require special care and handling techniques. They have high maintenance and expense requirements. They can be moody, traumatized from previous homes or experience, and mishandling, aggressive, destructive, and loud. Do thorough research on their care and needs before you adopt. And that's Jake behind me, perfectly timed. I adopted him 1.5 years ago. He's 37. He's a sweet guy. He was only a punk to me once when I dyed my hair pink and gave me 3 lip stitches. Otherwise, he's sweet and gentle. Why? Because I used my gentling techniques on him. And they work. But it's repetition, positive reinforcement, and calm. That's the Trinity. Why do parrots end up in rescues? Well, a lot of sad... Hello? A lot of sad reasons. Their owners die. Their owners become ill. Their owners can no longer afford to care for them. They go into assisted living. They didn't know what they were getting themselves into. That's probably one of the big ones. People get the parrots when they're young and their life changes. And they don't have time for the bird anymore, which is very sad because that's like a little child that depends on you and loves you. Unless you have previous big bird experience, many rescues will not adopt to you. You can get around this by volunteering at the rescue and gaining helpful experience and knowledge. That way you can also learn about each bird's personality in more depth and detail to find one that is right for you and perhaps earn the right to adopt. Most rescues these days, you have to sign a legal adoption paper that states you will give the bird back if you can no longer care for it. This is preventing a heinous trend of what they call flipping. People adopt a parrot for a small fee and turn around and sell it to someone for a big fee. And this harms the parrot greatly. Many people do not know what they're getting themselves into when they buy a parrot. And so these contracts protect the bird and you as well. The bird has a safe place to go if you do become sick or something major happens unforeseen that you could not have anticipated. How to choose the right parrot. With Jake, I found him after a loss of a beloved parrot that I had hand raised. He was quiet and shut down and fearful. I personally find that easier to work with than a bird who just runs at you and wants to kill you. You have to walk around and see which parrots might be interested in coming down to get a head rub or a treat. I spent a month at the rescue, coming every day, doing that, opening the cage door, offering fresh banana, waiting for him to step up on my hand. And after a month, when he did, I took him home. He was comfortable when he came home with me. He knew me. He took an hour sitting in his open kennel, which is really a backpack carrier. And eventually, you know, I asked him a couple of times, want to step up? And he didn't want to. But eventually, after an hour, he did. And then he stepped into this cage right back here. Now, for cages, like I said, the bigger the better. This is a cockatoo cage. And it's loaded with toys. And he doesn't like to be filmed, so I'm not going to get any closer than that. But you can see he's a little excited by the camera coming at him. And I swap these toys out about every 3-4 weeks. Now this one right by him is his favorite, and I leave it in there forever. He cuddles with this at night, he chews on it, he enjoys it. He loves cork and wood, the best. But he's a rare parrot who loves his hand toys. And because he's older, and his joints were so weak because he had been locked in a cage for 30 years, I have a lot of rope perches for his feet. Some people think they're dangerous. I've never had a problem with them, but I give them trimmings periodically so there's no strings. There's no strings hanging on them, nothing to catch the toes. And I keep my birds well groomed whenever the toenails get big. You know, I don't let them get curled or long. When he first came home, they were long, and he got hooked up on a little hole from where a screw was in his cage, like this here. And I patched the ones that he climbs on with a non-toxic putty, ceramic putty. But, you know, he didn't used to play with toys. Now he loves his toys. He's a real good boy. He steps up and cuddles. He plays like crazy. I just don't encourage that rough play where they kind of roll around on you and bite at you. Just can't have that, you know. He's getting a little more curious. Like I said, he gave me 3 stitches when I dyed my hair pink, but today with blue hair, no problemo. He's okay with that. What do you think there, Buster? There you are. You're a star. You're a star. And he's out 8 hours a day. The store's open. Yeah, and he talks and sings. And because this is next to my bed, I put some towels down for when he's sitting up here and poops. But he never poops actually on the bed, just anywhere on his cage. He just came to me kind of potty trained, which was awesome. You know how a bird sits on you for about an hour and they start to get antsy. I just pop him here and he'll go to the bathroom and he can come back if he wants to. He's a good boy. First thing to ask yourself, do you have the time and the resources and commitment to own a wild animal, a flock animal? Can you afford the vet care? The first few days that your bird is home, he's going to be traumatized. He's going to be scared. He's going to act out in the ways he's learned before, you know, fear or aggression. So sit calmly and quietly. Offer treats. Sing. Read a book. You know, if he displays a lot of aggression, back off. Let him settle in. Let him relax. What are you doing up there, buddy? What's going on up there? Huh? Rule number 2. Parrots are loud. Reward calm. Reward gentle. If your parrot is amped up, don't match that energy and be amped up. You're rewarding that. The bird is screaming, don't run in and yell at him. Blah, blah, blah. No, because that's just going to encourage more back and forth screaming. Birds are flock animals. If you are not around them enough, they're going to call for you. When they have joy, they're going to yell. Sunrise, sunset are big times around here. While I'm ignoring him and talking to you, there might be some yapping. Normally, Jake is very quiet. He naps. He's an old man. He's retired here. He rings his bells for breakfast in the morning. He does do that. But basically, he'll woof whistle or yoo-hoo whistle when I'm out of the room instead of scream, which is awesome. Are you okay with being bitten at some point, or maybe many times? Number 3, learn signs of parrot discomfort. aggression, fear. I have another video on YouTube called Parrot Aggression 101. I'll link that at the end of this. That'll teach you all the body language for an Amazon. But, you know, classic things are the wings away from the body, the feathers up, the mouth open, pinning of the pupils, meaning they get smaller, kind of a strut, kind of a lunge, tongue flicking, tail fanning. So you want to look out for that. And guess what you want to do? Back off. Do not interact with the bird at this time because you are teaching that. When I interact with you, we're going to bite and fight and play rough. It's not okay to be aggressive. You don't want to teach that, even inadvertently. Maybe your new friend comes to you dangerously reactive, aggressive at every turn. You want to use target training in this case. Safe for you, safe for your new buddy. Bird Tricks has some awesome videos about that. I won't go into it here. But you definitely want to protect yourself first, especially if you've got a flighted bird that flies at you and dive bombs you, or you might have to keep him in the cage at first for his safety. So discover that treat, that magic treat that he'll work for. Get a target stick and a clicker. Do target training. It'll save your fingers and your face. Unhandled, very aggressive bird. Target training. As best as you can, ignore aggression and biting. Ignore extreme excitement and heightened behavior. Don't reinforce that. I'm about to give y'all my rules to live by. Number 1 rule, keep your hands to yourself. A parrot should come to you. If you force your hand to a parrot and you ignore any signs that you don't recognize, that's a recipe for biting. You're going to get bitten. There's going to be sadness. Okay? Do not touch other parts of the body of a bird. Even if he invites you with his head bowed down, you can rub his head and neck, but don't pet the wings or the chest or anything like that. That stimulates hormonal behavior, which leads to aggression. Find the treat that your bird likes most in the world. Hopefully it's a healthy treat. It took a while to get Jake off of nuts, a couple months, because I had to find a substitute that wasn't as fattening. He's a little overweight. We found unsweetened banana chips. And he'll do just about anything for those. In fact, he just begs for them randomly throughout the day by sliding down the door and running over onto my bed and jumping on me when I'm working on the computer, etc. So rewarding that calm, rewarding a bird that does good things, good behaviors that you like, that's what you want. Now that treat you don't want to put in his dish at any other time or feed except when he's earned it, for being good, for being quiet, for doing something that you ask. Step up, step back in the cage. You should always reward good behavior that you like. You should always reward step off into the cage. You want that bird to go to bed at night when you want him to. Things like that. Parrots are flock animals. This brings us to number 6. Parrots call to their flock naturally, as I mentioned before. If you are in and out or not home, and then come home and there's excitement, it's going to lead to the bird like having some anxiety about you leaving and screaming for you, and screaming maybe all the time. Maybe the bird comes that way. He wasn't given attention. So the more time you have to spend with the parrot, the better he's probably going to be. Now there might be some learned behaviors that you're going to have to work on first. And remember, reward the calm, not the screaming. Teach step up. First, get your bird comfortable taking a treat from you through the bars. Have the door open. Get him comfortable taking that treat through the open door. Next, put your forearm out and the other hand behind it with the treat. Make him reach over an arm to get the treat. Finally, just recede that treat a little bit so he wants to put one foot on that arm. Keep that arm totally firm and still. Pretty soon he'll hop right up to get the treat. Now at first he's going to run away with that treat probably way to the back of his cage and eat it. But eventually he's going to start hanging out more and more with you and wanting to sit on you. And then he's going to come to you, which will make you cry like a baby the first time it happens. And he's always going to be curious about what you're doing, what's going on, and want to be part of it. Okay? Some parrots readily take to their household, but many are very afraid, shut down, or even aggressive. Give them time. Work the steps. Have patience. Remember, they are wild animals and a prey species. They have hardwired instincts and a powerful beak. Before you bring your new friend home, make its environment similar to the one it had before, but upgraded. The biggest cage you can afford, maybe arrange the perches and toys in the same spots, maybe get the same exact ones like I did from the cage your bird was living in. This will lower the stress for your bird and make his transition more peaceful. Use multiple diameter sterilized hardwood perches and rotate safe parrot toys frequently. I like dragonwood if you can get it. 𝐀𝐌𝐿 custom cut this one for me. Use natural wood only. Dowels are bad for their feet. Rope perches are good for stiff ankles and feet. Make sure you get a variety of toys, some for chewing, some for foraging, some hand toys, some for dangling, some for making noise. Rotating toys helps prevent boredom, picking, self-mutilation, and other psychological issues. Make sure to have a variety. Birds are smart. Number 7, give 12 to 14 hours of uninterrupted, dark and quiet sleep and a healthy diet. An all-seed diet is generally lacking in key nutrients and too fatty for most sedentary pet birds. Organic pellets formulated specifically for parrots with a 25% addition of daily fresh veggies is a good starting point. I like 𝐏𝐀𝐂𝐀𝐃, kale, broccoli, carrots, spinach, cooked yams, blueberries, pomegranate seeds, cold-pressed flaxseed oil, cooked quinoa, hard-boiled egg, sometimes other fresh foods with vital nutrients. Cockatoos and African greys have powder down, an allergen. Get a HEPA filter. South American birds, like Amazons and Macaws, do not have this. Still get the filter. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. Stay tuned for more videos in the Jake and Mr. Yap playlist. That's where you can find some fun stuff. Where Mr. Yap destroys toys, Jake talks and sings, and he's really excited, and I'm doing the thing I told you not to do, which is get close to him and kind of encourage that. So don't do that, but he's a real gentle boy most of the time. Most of the time, right? Most of the time you're a good boy. Most of the time you're sweet. You're a pretty bird. Very good. Thank you. This is Wingo. Nice little sleepy happy sound. Comes towards you. It's kind of cool. He wants it now. He loves it now. He's happy. So nice. He was looking a little rough, so I thought time to give him a wash. Time to give the bird a bath.